What's up, sports fans, and welcome to the Sports Opinions Podcast, first ever joint podcast with the Mixtape Podcast. My buddy Luke Teitelbaum is back from Mixtape. What's going on, my man?
Hey, how's it going, man?
It's going really
a good game last night.
Hell yeah. So, we're here. What we're going to try and do is, since the Battle of the Boroughs is starting to get big, because last night was a hell of a game, we're going to want to come after every game, and we're going to do a little bit of talk for a joint podcast. Since I'm a Nets fan, obviously Mixtape, Luke's a big Knicks fan. We can kind of poke at each other. We could battle. We'll do our takeaways from the game and give it to everyone out there so they can hear exactly what went on and how we feel. So I'm going to let you go first. Obviously, the final score of the game was the Brooklyn Nets winning 107-105 on a last-second shot by Karis LeVert. Hardaway misses the shot with 1 second to win the game from three. So for you on the losing side, which is a beautiful thing for me to say that the Knicks were on the losing side, what were your
different? I thought it's definitely an awesome game. I think it's shaking up to be a good rivalry. I think both teams look like they're in the right direction for once, which I think is good to see.
Yeah, definitely.
Even though, we were at the losing end of it, there was a lot of things that I think the Knicks did well. They only had 3 turnovers last night, which was tied a franchise record. It's kind of unbelievable to see them losing, even though they only had 3 turnovers. So that's something that was interesting to me, and also a little bit of a problem that they lost the game with being able to control the ball that much. Secondly, the rebounding. Rebounding was a big issue for the Knicks last night. I think they were out-rebounded by 19 by the Nets. We really besides Cantor, we really had to find other people that can crash the boards when KP's not in the lineup. So that'll be something that'll be an issue until he's really back, I think, unless, somebody starts to step up. But again, we have some rookies on this team. People might be need to kind of come into their own. So hopefully, some of our guys we got, Mitchell Robinson. I know he didn't play last night, but hopefully he could be one to grab some boards as well. Thirdly, Kevin Knox, he had a better game. I think he shot 50%, 7 for 14, hit a couple threes. I thought that was good to see. I think he's going to end up being a good player. He's been a little jittery to start off, which, you got to give him that. He's a rookie. I do like his approach. He's just got to get confident out there. I think once he gets confident, his shots will start dropping. They dropped last night, so that was really good to see.
Yeah, without a doubt. You definitely got to give Kevin Knox a chance. It's been 2 games, but I want to get a little quick comment on you from this, because Mixtape officially tweeted out after the loss, Heartbreak City, Nets can blow us, still far inferior team to the city. Hashtag Mixtape Nation, 1 game at a time. Hashtag Knicks will bounce back. So I don't all the pleasantries.
I didn't personally tweet that, by the way. That was Mike. That was my buddy who does it too. But I'm not gonna disagree with that comment.
You better back it up.
I know. No, I'm definitely backing it up. I agree with him. It has been, in my opinion. I mean, both these teams haven't been good, and we know that for a fact. I think the Knicks probably have the better record in the rivalry, but it's really not a rivalry yet. I think the best thing to do. I mean, obviously, we're always going to be the king of the town, in my opinion, until one of us wins a championship. If you guys somehow win one before us, then maybe that'll change a little bit. But until then, you got a big thing to conquer. We're it's the Mecca. It's all this stuff. You're pretty much new in Brooklyn, so it's tough to overtake us. But I can see it happening. I think both these teams are in a good direction to really actually start heating this rivalry up.
Yeah,
maybe hopefully even maybe soon, maybe even some playoff battles would be great. I think that would be something that could help both teams.
I just read that and I loved it. I loved having fun with that. It really is. But that builds on what the rival. You know what? The fact that the Knicks tape acknowledged the Nets is more than what we've gotten for years. So it's great for the Nets, because even when the Nets were going to back-to-back championships, Knicks fans were just championship games. Knicks fans were just like, who cares? They're the Nets. Who cares?
Yeah. I mean, that was the Jersey Nets too. So, I think them going to Brooklyn helps the rivalry a little bit. Yeah, it's still in that franchise, but I think even
helps the rivalry. All right, so we'll do.
And you guys got some good players.
Hell yeah! So we'll do my 3 takeaways from the Brooklyn Nets. The game last night. First thing that I noticed was the defense is unbelievably improved, and Jarrett Allen down low, second-year center, is making all the difference. He got pushed around by Cantor a little bit, but Cantor is one of the best offensive rebounding big men in the game. And he kept a lot of offensive rebounds out of Cantor's hands. He pulled down 14 boards, or I think 10 or 14 boards on his own. So That was awesome. The guards feel more comfortable because he's back there, and there's significantly more hustle, even though the turnovers weren't there for the Nets. Because, yeah, like you said, the Knicks only had 3. It's still something that you like to see. Everyone's given more effort on defense, so that's much improved, and it was great to see in this game. Next thing, I'm bringing up the turnovers as well because it's a huge issue. Through 2 games, and Nets, I think, have something up. They had 22 in this game. They had 19 last game. It's a big problem, and only getting 3 turnovers is awful. So 22-3 ratio is not acceptable at all. And last point I saw from the Nets that were super encouraging is Caris LeVert has arrived. He had 27 in the first game, 28 in this game, had his hands on the ball in the final shot for the Nets both times. He got stripped against the Pistons, obviously won the game for the Nets this time around. So I called Caris LeVert Le Savior, Le Franchise, Le Future when he first came in as a rookie, and when I was writing for Nothing But Nets. And it really seems like that's starting to come true. If he can become a 20-plus point guy and have the ball in his hands at the end of the games, that would go huge for the Nets in their development.
Very impressive. He's very impressive.
So, yeah, I want to get from you, do you have any takes on the Nets team, whether it be good, bad, whether you want to rip us, whether you want to give us praise, it doesn't matter. Any takes on the Nets team after you saw them one game this season?
I mean, the only thing I can rip is that you guys are in Nets uniforms after last night's win. But other than that, I think like the Knicks, I think you guys are in the right direction, and I'm very impressed with LeVert and Jared Allen down low. I think he's very impressive too, and I think not giving those guys up for those short fixes that we're used to, that our teams used to do. It was very smart by management. I think LeVert is definitely the future of your franchise. I'll be nervous to go up against him coming up. So I think the future is bright for both of them, and the Nets too. I mean, it's bright in Brooklyn. I think it's better though. I mean, I don't want. It's fun to beat you guys, but let's have some good basketball, through the city for once, and we can really heat this rivalry up. I think they're both at the same time really, gaining momentum that they need to, getting young players, keeping those draft picks. Although I know you guys still have draft pick issues. But like LeVert was a great pick.
First round pick this year. We have it.
Thank God. Yeah. What is that? The first time in a decade?
I think it's like 5 years. Literally, it's like the first time in 5 years we have our own first round pick.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy. Now you're the first round pick, and I don't know if you're. I'm kind of in the position. KP's injured this year. It's probably not going to be back to at least half the season. Not full tank mode, but just grow, in my opinion. The Knicks need to do so. Even if they lose, 40 plus games, try to still get that good draft pick for next year. And that might actually put us in a better position than trying to make an 8th seed in the playoffs this year. I don't know what you think about that and the Nets.
Without a doubt. I don't think the Nets are in tank mode. I think we're in build mode. We really are. The philosophy of Sean Marks isn't to tank, and it's not Kenny Atkinson's way. And we have too much young talent that's developing to be good, like a Caris LeVert. When Rondae Hollis-Jefferson gets back, we're hoping he could take another step. Spencer Dinwiddie is a good guard off the bench. So I don't think we ever want to tank at this point, because I think that would be a step back for the Nets if they tank right now, because they're looking to build.
That's true.
Right now, the quest is 35 games, 35 wins. We had 29 last year. Got to get to 35 this year. So
I think that's attainable. But by the way to look now, I mean, they almost won the first game against the Pistons too. So definitely attainable. So do you think? I mean, what would that put them in the draft? Like, mid draft. I mean, that's still better than they've had anything in the last 5 years of shit.
Yeah, seriously. So I'll give my quick takeaways on the Knicks from what I saw, specifically last night. Right now, when I look at it, they're a super top-heavy team. The whole heavy lifting was done by Enes Kanter, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Kevin Knox in terms of scoring. Kanter and Hardaway at 29, Knox added 17. The rest of the team, no one else cracked double digits. So right there, they're super top-heavy. Me personally, with the team that's developing, like you guys, and going through what we did as the Knicks, the Nets as well, where we had Brook Lopez, who was a 20-plus guy, but everyone else was just kind of there. I'd like to see more development from the rest of your guys. I'd like to see Hazonia get more time. I'd like to see Trier, who's been an awesome undrafted addition.
Love that kid. Yeah.
I'd like to see him you mentioned Mitchell Robinson. Get him in the game. Those guys, and even Frank Ntilikina, tell him to be more aggressive on offense. He had a really good spurt where he was running the offense fantastic in that game. Third quarter was Frank Ntilikina. And I just want to see more of that. Like, obviously, Kanter, Hardaway, Knox are going to be the main focus guys. I want to see the bench come out more, because I think the Knicks could be really deep this year if they kind of let the other guys play. Other takeaway from me.
I think.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I think that's really good points. I actually agree with all that. I was actually in favor of. I was hoping that he wouldn't resign Cantor. Not because I know he's a good player. I know especially on offense, but I did want to give these younger guys a lot more time, and I wouldn't mind putting them all out there and sitting. I know he's not old, but he's kind of one dimensional. He does play a lot of good offense. Does get those offensive boards.
Cantor doesn't really play.
He doesn't play defense. Yeah, and I think that's a big problem. I'd rather have more of a defensive center in the way the game's going now. So that was an issue for me, and I think hopefully as the season goes on, these players, these younger guys off the bench, I think Frank, I think you're totally right. He needs to be more aggressive. I think that's been his problem for a while. He's just not very consistent on the offensive end. Sometimes he turns it on. Sometimes he doesn't. I think he's still trying to figure himself out, but I totally agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, and your last two things is Hardaway did have 29 points, but he needed 25 shots to get there. He needs to be more efficient. He's your best player right now. I think Cantor's great, but Hardaway's your best player. He needs to be more efficient there. I love Hardaway. I like what he brings. He's aggressive. He's a good player. Got to be more efficient. And the last thing that I took away from this team is, even though the Nets gave you guys 22 turnovers, probably shouldn't have been as close in terms of that. They shouldn't have given you guys 22. You guys are a scary bunch playing this well without Porzingis the first two games.
Yeah.
It just goes to show that there is depth on this team, and that David Fizdale is already taking this team in the right direction, is teaching a lot of the young guys. And like you said before, both of these franchises heading in the right direction. You guys have a leg up because you have a superstar already. So once he comes back, I just did NBA ranks with my buddy Tim Keegan on Friday, and we had the Knicks. I had them third to last in the league. He had them second to last. And both of our agreement was right now, that's where they are. You add Porzingis, you guys are a middle of the rung challenging for the 8th seed. So he's that big of a difference for you guys. So those are my takeaways from the Knicks. It was a great game. I really look forward to the next game. And the next game is on October 29th at the Garden. I'm definitely excited for that.
Yeah. I think it'll be great. Hopefully they have battles like this, into the future. Hopefully they get better. And you never know, LeVert could turn into that superstar maybe. He's looking pretty good right now, but you're right about that. Once KP gets back, it'll be a different look to the team. And hopefully next year we can both bring in some good free agents, because I know we have some cap room, both of us.
Without a doubt. And since we are at the Garden, I'm actually going to start a new hashtag. It's going to be called Blackout the Garden, because I'm tired of Knicks fans being in Barclays and then Nets fans don't travel to Manhattan. So I'm starting a hashtag Blackout the Garden so we can get some black and white in there to really make it a fun atmosphere for both teams, because Barclays was electric last night.
It really was.
45 Knicks fans, but it was awesome because when the Knicks did something well, there was a lot of cheering. When the Nets did well, the Brooklyn chant came out. It was awesome. So I'm starting a hashtag Blackout the Garden. Let's get Nets fans in there. Let's make this atmosphere a real rivalry feel.
I got one too. Make the tickets at the Garden cheaper, because that's probably a reason why no Nets fans are coming, because I wouldn't want to pay those ticket prices either.
Yeah, I know. I agree. But all right. So,
much cheaper at Barclays.
This was fun. This was a joint podcast between the Mixtape podcast with Luke Teitelbaum and Sports Opinions podcast with me, Alex Cuesta. Definitely go visit Mixtape on Twitter at Mixtape. It's the original Mixtape. When everyone went nuts, Linsanity, everything, that is them. They are the legit guys that started it and that have it. Go visit there, buy their merchandise. Their shit is sick.
Thank you.
Then visit us at Sports Opinion 30 on Twitter, and just go out, find us, and definitely listen to this when we have it on again. Luke, thanks for coming on, brother.
No problem. And you're on Apple too with a podcast, right?
Our podcast, this one is on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, Spreaker, YouTube. So we're everywhere. You guys are on Apple?
Yeah.
All right.
I got to start spreading it out like you do, though. That's good.
Oh, you'll get there. You'll get there. We'll talk.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
Yeah.
So,
all right, thanks a lot, man.
All right, this is the Joint Podcast, Sports Opinions Podcast, Nick Tapes Podcast. Everyone, so long, and go Nets, go Knicks.